What is going on, everyone? It is Tyler McKinney back here again, and today we're getting back into the XFL. If it's your first time here, glad to have you. If you're a return viewer, thanks for coming back and thanks for watching more videos. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. And remember, guys, I want to support you guys out there. So if you've got a business, if you've got some type of service, if you got something that you're offering the people out there, if you're part of this community, I want to help you out, give you a shout out. So let me know down in the comments, send me an email, whatever, and we'll definitely try to get the information out there for you, because in times like these, we all need to stick together and we all need to support each other. So I would love to do that for you. Now, getting to the XFL and the information that we got for you today, I really want to start breaking things down into kind of more manageable, good night, I can't talk, manageable content that maybe might be a little bit easier, that we can kind of hone things in and talk about them kind of more in small packages and maybe do things that way. Let me know if you kind of like this type of style, to where we can kind of still get down into, really kind of deep into these topics, but also be able to where, we're not just covering such a broad thing and it's so long. So if you like the shorter type of videos, let me know down in the comment section, and I'll try to do that. Today, I want to just cover really just kind of relocation, expansion, and all of that it has to do with the XFL. Now, with the XFL going forward, one of the things that has been huge with it is that Jeffrey Pollock and his team of, I don't know, about half a dozen of them or so, were working tirelessly to keep the XFL moving forward. If you remember that they were still contacting the stadiums and the stadium owners and that to try to keep those contracts that they had with the stadiums kind of going, and try to see if they could kind of keep that going for 2021 season. And so they were tirelessly working for that purpose and through that goal to really keep things moving on. And I think that that's really helped us, and also given us some insight to what we kind of know will probably be happening, from what Dany's put out there and said that, they look to kind of bring a lot, pretty much just try to bring things back, kind of restart things, and then kind of go from there. They're definitely going to make their own tweaks and put their own kind of stamp on things. But, if it ain't broke, don't fix it was kind of, the message that we've been kind of getting from them. So that being said, let's kind of look at where we are in the landscape of everything. Let's start with the initial teams that we had. We had the 8 teams. You got the team in New York, you got the team in DC. We got the team in Tampa Bay, and we've got the, let's see here. We've got the team in Dallas. We've got the team in Houston. We got the team in St. Louis. We got the team in LA, and we have the team in Seattle. So we had our 8 teams and that with it. Now let's go ahead and let's look at first the teams that I think are going to stay, that they're going to keep everything that they have, and that they're not going to change a thing, because I think that they were I just think that these were really good, just all around good just franchises for them to have, or team locations, and relationships that they had with the cities. First and foremost, let's go ahead. St. Louis. St. Louis, it was fantastic. It was great. They had a lower bowl sellout, and it was looking like that they were actually on the verge for their last couple home games to have a full stadium sellout there in St. Louis. St. Louis really just they really embraced the team. They loved the team, and it was just exciting to see what they were doing there in St. Louis. St. Louis is going to stay. It's going to be there. Seattle's another one. Seattle, listen, they were in a big stadium for them. I think it's like, roughly, between 60 to 70,000 people that they can actually fit inside a CenturyLink. And so with having that there and with them, it was looking like they were increasing in numbers to where they were going to be somewhere around 30,000, maybe more than that, for their next home game. People were really buying into the Dragons there. People really liked the Dragons there. They had a really nice following, and they were really bringing the people there. Seattle is a really nice fit for them, and I think that Seattle was really going to stick. DC seemed to be another one that was fairly decent. They had, decent home games. The fans were just great there. Now, granted, it's a smaller venue there. The DC venue was a soccer venue, a smaller venue, but yet they seem to pack that place fairly well, and they had decent crowds there. The people enjoyed it. DC is a good place. DC's going to stay. New York's an interesting one. New York, I think they need to keep in that New York, New Jersey market. Now, here's my thoughts, and here's where kind of the things, start to change with things. And, I guess before we get into New York, the other one that I think that's going to stay is Houston. They had a really good relationship. Oliver Luck, who is a guy who worked in Houston, worked with the Houston kind of sports world, and that really had a good relationship with Houston. Houston's going to stay. I think that they'll stay there at the University of Houston. The TDECU stadium, I don't know. I got them. I might have them all jumbled up in that. It's hard to remember all of that. But it's the Cougar Stadium there where the Cougars played. And so I think that that's a really good place. That's going to stay. So those are going to be the places, that I'm looking at that are solidified, that are good to go. Those four, don't see any changes there. Now let's go ahead and let's move on. I think New York needs a relocation, and I don't mean to necessarily. I guess they're in New Jersey. They need to move to the other side of New Jersey and to a little bit of a different location. I think they need to move to Red Bull Stadium. I think that makes sense. It's a smaller stadium. They had all right crowds, but MetLife is such a large stadium, and for them and the cost of the stadium and that, it just doesn't make sense. I think you move them to New Jersey, and not only do you move them, again, a different location in New Jersey, but you move them from where they're at to Red Bull, and I think I would like them to change the name to New Jersey. I think you're still going to keep your New York fans. I don't think you're going to lose your New York fans. I don't think if they keep the New York name, I don't think they're going to lose any fans that way. I just think it would be just a nice nod to New Jersey, and maybe you might pick up some New Jersey fans that way. That's just my thought. Now, these next ones that I'm going to be talking about are really going to be your relocation teams. I don't think that we're going to be getting for 2021, we're not going to be getting any type of a expansion team or anything of that nature. I think you need to go ahead. You need to move Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay had an all right showing. Things weren't great for them, and part of it was the team didn't really do what the people wanted there in Tampa Bay, and so with Flowers and all of that, and that you move them to Orlando. Orlando's a really good base. Orlando is a football town. They support football there. I think they would do really, really well there. I think they would still bring over some of the Tampa fans. I think they would do good there. In World Camping Stadium, I think is what they call it there. But moving to Orlando, I think that'd be a great move. Do that. Done there. Now, Dallas, we know that they've already closed up headquarters there in Dallas, that it looks like the team is going to be moving. San Antonio, they were fantastic. They supported their team in the AAF. The Commanders had a great following. They were a good team. They packed that stadium there. I think that they do the same thing. They just move Dallas over there, keep the Renegades name. The fans then can just follow them on over to San Antonio. The fans there in San Antonio can just go ahead and rally around that Renegades team. It's a perfect fit. It's nice. It's quick. It's easy. It's a good fit. It makes sense. And I think that the XFL can really thrive there in San Antonio. And I think that that's a really good football city. Makes sense. A good move. Now, the one that's tricky is LA. LA really needs to move. LA's really not the football city that they're looking for with this thing. Now, granted, they were in a smaller soccer stadium, which I get that, but they still weren't really drawing the crowds like they need to. They really need to make a move, and I think that Oakland is the better move than San Diego, and those are really the two right there. The reason being is that I think that San Diego could stand on its own if they made an expansion team. I think Oakland would do a really good job. I think you've got Oakland, who's feeling scorned right now. They've lost their team to Las Vegas. They lost the Raiders to Las Vegas, so the Raiders are gone now. I think that the football fans there would really rally around that Wildcats team, and I think that just the going from LA to Oakland, it just has a better feel than going from LA to San Diego. Oakland and LA are kind of more together than LA and San Diego, and I think that Also, the LA fans will just transfer over to that Oakland team. I don't think it'll be a big deal. Kind of things have done that before already with the Raiders moving from LA to Oakland and the moves that they've already done. So that makes sense to me to do that, to move them. So you move them to Oakland, the Wildcats, good. Now, so that's where I think that the 2021 season will sit. If the XFL is able to have a good season, a very, a successful season, and, project high, do well, do like what they did with the first season, I could see them expanding to 2 more markets. I think a really good market for them would be San Diego. San Diego would be a huge market for them. I think that it would be a big draw there. And I think that San Diego could easily pull an expansion team for them by themselves. Case in point, I've already said the things, kind of already touched on it a little bit. But San Diego, football town, they like their football. I think it'd be good. Now let's go ahead and they also are a team that lost their team to LA. So I think that, having an expansion team in that kind of the scorned NFL city makes sense. Now let's move to Birmingham. Birmingham, we've already discussed this. They want a football team. The city council wants it. The president of the city council wants it. Everybody in Birmingham wants an XFL team. Birmingham loves their football. They supported the Iron of the AAF, did a really good job with them there. So you can put a team there. I think that's an easy fit, easy put. That's good. There's another place too, is really the Midwest is kind of the other place where I'm seeing expansion. And that's somewhere where that be Lucas Oil Stadium there in Indianapolis, somewhere in Ohio. I think that in Columbus, I think would be a good spot for them. The Columbus Crew Stadium, I think that would be an excellent place for them to play. I know that it's cold in that, and that would be outdoors, but I think that they can make it work. If they showed that they can make New York work or New Jersey, and they showed that they can make DC work, they could definitely make Columbus work. I think Detroit, their Ford Field is another place that they could put another expansion team. So they've got some places in that for some expansion where I think they really could make football thrive. Like I said, Ohio had huge markets for them when it came to TV ratings. And so really looking to put a team close to Ohio or in Ohio would make total sense. So guys, I don't want to take up any more time. Like I said, I was trying to make a quick video. Hopefully this is a quick video for you. For some people, you might think that it was way too long of a video, but those are my thoughts. That's what I would like to see for the XFL kind of relocation and expansion for the next couple years. The question is, what do you think? Let me know down in the comments section, and we'll continue the conversation there. All right, guys, you stay safe out there and keep up the hope. Have a good night. Bye.